Yo guys, I made a new sexuality now, actually. It's called super straight, okay? Since straight people or straight men as myself, I get called transphobic because I wouldn't date a trans woman. You know, they're like, would you date a trans woman? I'm like, no, why? That's a female. No, like, that's not a real woman to me. Like, I want real woman. No, you're just transphobic. So now, I'm super straight. I only date the opposite gender, women, that are born women. So you can't say I'm transphobic now because that's just my sexuality, you know?
Super straight is super transphobic. In this video, I kind of want to like break down what the fuck is going on here and like the implications behind this. Like, why is it transphobic to have the mindset of this guy in the TikTok? This is the man who founded the sexuality known as super straight. It's been blowing up on TikTok and it's led over to Twitter. They even made a Discord. Sam Collins made a very good video. He actually went in their Discord and went over shit. So yeah, so this has been going on. It's been popping off over on Reddit. And yeah, they even made a fucking flag. They made a goddamn pride flag for this. Now here's the thing though, is that this is troll. This is a fucking troll. And like, y'all are being baited into like getting angry and shit. And this meme like describes what's happening. So like, we're not gonna take the like what these people are saying and what they're doing super serious, but the implications of having this mindset are very dangerous, and it's what leads to discrimination and oppression of trans people. So I do want to go ahead and break that down. But yeah, once again, like I said, if you are getting outraged by this, if you are in your fucking feelings, if you are actually fucking pressed by this shit, you need to stop. You're acting fucking dumb. You're acting just as dumb as the conservatives who got mad when Oreo tweeted out that trans people exist, okay? So you look fucking silly. Alright, before we get into this, we have to understand what is super straight. Now, super straight, basically, I have this little diagram right here that really describes like what it is pretty well. Super straight is basically a straight person who will only date cis people. They will not date trans people. And then super gay and super lesbian also exist, and it's the same thing. It's a gay man who will only be with another cis gay man, and a gay lesbian woman who will also only be with another gay lesbian woman. Simple enough, right? Now, by itself, there's nothing wrong with having a preference of like cis women or whatever. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. However, it does become an issue when you say, oh, I don't date trans women because they're not real women. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you're being completely discriminatory against a whole group of women. I mean, picture it like this. It's like the same thing as like a man saying, oh yeah, you know, I don't date black women, I only date real women. Now, do you see how that feels? Like, if you're a black woman, do you know how that feels? Like, that's how trans women feel when we hear that shit, right? Here's the thing, is you don't get to fucking decide who is real women or not. Women and gender, it's a fucking social construct. There's some parts that are, like, rooted to, like, core biology. Like, definitely 100%, like, gender, like, exists, like, without like the social implications, but for the most part, it is a social construct. We define what it is, and we make up what those roles and shit are. Now, science and medicine, they both point to the fact of the validity of trans people. So if you say that fucking trans women aren't real women, then you're literally going against medical and scientific institutions that all are pretty like much agree on this topic. Now, you might be saying to yourself, okay, so am I not allowed to have preferences? No, you can have preferences. Preferences aren't the issue, but it becomes problematic when you say, I will not date a person from this particular group. You know, that's a little suspect. Like, if you won't date any black women ever, like you know what I mean? You could be like, oh yeah, like I'm attracted to Asian women, I'm attracted to black men, I'm attracted to white men, I'm attracted to white women, or whatever. You know what I mean? But if someone says, oh, would you ever date like an Asian person? You're like, no. Like, that's probably a little bit racist because you haven't met every Asian person in the world, and you're like denying a whole group even the possibility of you dating them based on their minority status, based on like literally something that they cannot change. And that's why it's discriminatory. So if you want to have a preference and say like, yeah, I prefer cis women, you know, I've never met a trans woman that I wanted to date or whatever, you know, but then especially when you take it to another level and you say like real females, real men or whatever, like now you're being outright transphobic. Now you are literally trying to erase a whole group from like women or men, and that's 100% not okay. Once again, like I said, if someone had fucking come on here and said, oh, I don't date black women, I only date real women, they would be fucking canceled. But we're not as like socially progressed in the terms of like trans people, so that kind of outrage doesn't happen, which is why I'm trying to speak up. I'm trying to get people to understand that y'all gotta come with the same energy. Like, it's the same type of shit. Now, there's a lot of cringe associated with like the shit that people are talking about since this whole fiasco has started, and it's on both sides, okay? So there's actually some people who are taking this shit seriously, like on both sides. There's super straight people that are 100% like really serious about what they're doing. Like, for the most part, it's just a troll and they're just fucking with people, trying to trigger trannies. Like, you know, it can be fun to do because it's pretty easy. Like, look, I will be the first to admit that my community, the fucking trans community, the whole LGBT community in general, can get fucking like heated for no reason sometimes. But if you're taking this serious, this is the meme that like I'm, you know, yeah, you just get your participation shit, because this isn't the first time this has happened. In Boston, there was a straight pride parade. Like people have tried to do this before. Like, it's really weird, the victim complex of like a straight white man that like they think they're fucking being discriminated against because their gender, race, sexual, all this shit. Like, no, like we're becoming more progressive and we're trying to like have equality. So that's why other voices are speaking up, because like we need to hear those voices. For years and years and years, we've heard straight white male voices, you know what I mean? So it's not that like no one's discriminating against you. That is 100% victim complex. But anyways, on the flip side of the super straight like fucking reactions to it online, motherfuckers are like giving these people death threats and like genuinely getting fucking angry, flipping out, saying a whole bunch of crazy shit on Twitter, and you fucking idiots need to calm down. You crazy people need to fucking stop. It is so cringe. It is so motherfucking cringe. But I mean, anyways, that's just the internet, and that's just the trans community, and that's just straight people. I'm just sitting back and fucking watching this, making a video on it. But yeah, the actual implications of the discrimination of people based on like their minority identity is not okay. Preferences are fine, just don't be a fucking bigot about it. Anyways, peace out, bitches. Have a good one.